Hello and welcome. Thank you for listening. My name is Sarah Baumert. I'm a yoga teacher, Feldenkrais practitioner, and host of the Sarah B. Yoga podcast. The Sarah B. Yoga podcast and my practice, Body Matter, is an interdisciplinary learning space where we explore the many ways that movement can help facilitate body acceptance and awareness, reduce pain and stress, regulate the nervous system, and build strength and ease. My teaching plays with the synthesis of Feldenkrais awareness through movement lessons, traditional yoga asana, creative imagery, breathing exercises, self-massage, and a compassionate mindset to help you feel a greater sense of ease and comfort in yourself. Sarah B. Yoga and Body Matter have a lot of other program offerings. These podcasts are just a taste of my teaching. Each week I teach a range of online classes, including a gentle yoga class, a level 2 class for more advanced students, and Feldenkrais classes with monthly themes, anatomy lessons, and Q&A sessions for more in-depth study. I have 2 new online series offerings for the fall. A Feldenkrais series titled Coming to Your Senses, an exploration of the spaces of the eyes, the mouth, jaw, ears, vocal and breathing apparatus. And my second course, Wakeful Body, the blending of yoga and Feldenkrais on Monday nights. As one student recently described Monday nights, that felt like I just gave myself a massage. So these fall classes will be a continuation of some fan favorite stretching sequences that incorporate bolsters and other props to enhance the poses. There is still plenty of time to join these courses live or via the course recordings. You can find more information about these offerings in the show notes. Okay, on to today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Hello. Welcome to episode 57 of the Sarah B. Yoga podcasts. I'm Sarah Baumert, your host and teacher. I teach a slow, flowing, alignment-based practice. I'm coming to you today from Minneapolis, Minnesota. The title of today's class is Awareness from the Inside Out, Lung Vitality and Heart Opening. This class will begin with some breathing explorations to help warm up your sensing abilities of the lungs, their capacity to fill, and their capacity to change shape in order to support the asanas. So we will work with the skill of breathing, not just the physical movements of breathing, but also with the interoception or the overall sensations inside the body that you can feel. Our breathing is constantly adapting to the environment we put ourselves in. And so in this class, we'll feel how the breath can adapt to the shapes of the asanas. We'll do a lot of shoulder opening and awareness of these internal spaces to be able to support backbends, culminating in camel pose. You will want to grab a blanket, a yoga block, and a yoga strap. If you have a bolster, that could also be useful. And a towel or any kind of firm blanket can be used in place of a yoga blanket. A scarf will be better than nothing if you don't have a yoga strap that loops. I'm currently teaching live yoga asana classes via Zoom, remote live. You can find my full weekly schedule on my newer website, body-matter.com. And you'll also find a link to Body Matter from Sarah B. Yoga. As always, I hope you're enjoying these podcasts and that they're helpful for you to be able to maintain a home practice right now. Okay, so let's get started. Begin by lying down on your back with your knees bent and your feet standing. And if you do not have a yoga block, then it would be useful for you to take your blanket and fold it up so that it's sort of like a chubby, flat brick However, you can fold your blanket so that you have something eventually to put underneath your pelvis. So lying down on your back, with your knees bent, feet standing, place your hands, palms down on your lower belly. And just take a moment to sense the way you meet the floor, the way that your back space contacts the floor. Taking a couple of breaths to simply settle. Allowing your mind to transition from whatever you've been working on, your body to transition from whatever you've been doing, to just starting to pay attention. And as we dive into this class today, let's open ourselves up to the sensations, possibly the healing journey that you or someone you don't know is on, someone else who is taking this class. So many of us have stressful lives, and so may this time that we spend on the mat in a virtual way be of benefit to more than just us. This calm that you find within yourself can also extend out to the people in your life that you connect with today and beyond today. Simply start to notice the sensation of breath underneath your palms, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Feeling as you exhale, sensation of the lungs emptying. Notice the sense of support that you have. Can you let the floor support you so you're not lifting yourself out of the floor, nor are you pushing down into it? Just notice how you know that you're breathing. What parts of you are responding to your breath? If you think of all the possible movements of the breath in all directions, is there a direction you're more aware of? To the sides, to the front, to the back? And then let your hands come down so your arms are alongside your body, and just slowly begin to press the feet a little bit more firmly into the floor, letting your tailbone curl up and just hover off of the floor. Feeling the sense of the lower back beginning to lengthen. Lifting incrementally, one vertebra at a time. Imagining that a nice friend is holding your thighs near your knees and gently elongating your legs, pulling your legs a little bit away from your chest as you let the pelvis gently lift, not going super high, but just enough that you do feel that there's a little bit more weight on your shoulders, a little bit more weight in your upper back. Maybe the top of the shoulder blades feel a sense of more weight as the pelvis is lifted. And then just very slowly rolling down, articulating as you come down, feeling that sense of length in the lower back as you place the sacrum and the pelvis back to the floor. And breathe in down at the bottom as you're on the floor. We'll take that one more time, slowly, first just lifting the tail, and just feel the pelvis just begin to unweight itself from the floor, pushing the feet down, beginning to reach your thigh bones away from your belly, like you're pulling the legs a little out of the belly, tracking the knees over the toes and letting that peel the spine up until you feel a sense of weight in your upper back. Imagining where your lungs are, sensing where your lungs are in the chest, the two sides of the chest, so there's a little bit more pressure, weight down on them now. And then again, slowly lower yourself down to the floor. Find your block or your folded blanket. And again, begin to curl your tail up, tracking your thighs, your knees over the toes. And just lift the pelvis enough that you can slip the block on its low height right underneath the pelvis, across the pelvis the wide way. Just feeling the weight of the pelvis drop there, getting that sense of weight in your upper back. Now just begin to imagine the right lung, the right side of your chest. And as you inhale, can you expand the right side more than the left? Or imagining that you're just expanding the right side. So filling the right lung from this internal space, sensing that the lung expands and it billows, it balloons towards your right shoulder, towards your right armpit. As if the inhale breath, each inhale breath, can carve out some space. So continue to breathe in and out with this focus on the right side of the chest, the right lung. Molding some space, almost like there's a sense of massage that the breath and the expansion of the lungs can fill in and open these areas between your ribs and into the shoulder joint. If it's helpful, you can imagine a very small deflated balloon near the shoulder joint, that upper right chest area, and as you inhale, inflating that balloon, letting it really billow, feather open. You might feel your right side ribs expanding a little bit. And if your eyes are open with your vision, you could see that the right side is changing shape. It's a different shape than the other side as you focus this expansion of the right side lung. Just see what is possible there for you. Maybe a little elusive. And as we focus the inhale expansion, the sense of volume, creating more volume in the chest, you won't feel the belly expand as much when you're inhaling in that way. So you may even feel that the navel begins to pull downward as you're inhaling and expanding higher up. Okay, let that rest for a moment and just close the eyes and settle the breath. Just breathe normally. And see if you can sense any difference between the two sides of your chest, the way the two shoulders rest. Bring your attention and your imagination to the left side of the chest, the left lung. And as you're inhaling, begin to focus the expansion on this side, creating this sense of volume through the left side of the chest. Imagining the armpit and shoulder space being filled, billowing open that area. Fanning open the left side ribs as you inhale. And noticing when you expand and the volume changes in that left side, it gets bigger, what starts to push deeper into the floor? Well, is some part of the left shoulder pushing down? So you can imagine that expansion in all directions in the left upper quadrant of the torso. Good, and let that rest. Now sensing both sides of the chest, both sides of lungs, and beginning to expand both more evenly. But the inhale volume is expanding your ribs and your chest, and the abdomen might draw inward during the inhale because we're focusing that expansion a little higher up. And as you exhale, the abdomen may still feel this sort of sinking motion, really feeling that you can empty the lungs, feel the ribs condense towards your center. Sensing that the breath moves into both shoulders, both upper corners. Good. Working with an Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose. And now just slip the block out from underneath the pelvis. Lower the hips back down. Roll to your side. Come up to sit so that you can roll your blanket. If you have a yoga blanket, we're going to roll it into a not such a big roll. It will go behind your upper back. So you could fold it in half so that it's a rectangle, and then grab the fringes and roll it up so that you have a little bit of a longer bolster that's maybe diameter of the circle is 6 inches or so. You'll put the long part of the bolster so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. So this long bolster, and I'm going to sit right in front of it so that I can lie down, and the bolster is going to go across the upper back, not right on the shoulder joints, a little bit lower than that, and not way down by the lower ribs. And once you feel like you have that spot, interlace your fingers behind the back of the head. So you're supporting the weight of the head. And there's this bolster that's across your upper back. The pelvis is on the floor. The feet are standing. The knees are bent, pointed towards the ceiling. Keeping the head off the floor, hands are supporting the head. And just take a moment here. Feel the upper back and this pressure of the bolster right behind the upper back. Now breathe in and see if you can expand so that you're pushing the bolster away. So from the inside out, try to create a shape of pushing that bolster away. We'll keep working with this. So roll to your right side. That bolster's still underneath you. So the bolster now is going to be right underneath some of the right side ribs. Not so much on your armpit, but maybe just slightly lower than that. And then if you can let your head release to the floor, so your right arm will come out straight out in front of you. The right palm faces the ceiling. Let your head drop to the floor. You're going to be in a little side bend. If this is not comfortable for the neck, you can always slide something underneath your head. The top arm, the left arm can just rest someplace comfortably for right now. And just feel the right side ribs and their weight dropping into the blanket. Just passively feel that. And when you inhale, can you expand this right side of the chest, the right upper quadrant of the torso, as if you could feel that you're pushing the blanket away. And then as you exhale, let all of the air come out and yield. Soften into the blanket. Feel the shape of the torso really drape over the blanket. Give into that support. And then as you inhale again, feel that expansion through the right side of the chest. Expand the volume of the right side of the chest. And push the blanket away from the inside. And on exhale, you yield into the shape. Playing with this is an area that, well, we are often not so aware of our ribs, especially on the side and the back of us. So you're using your blanket as feedback that, this is a part of you as well. This area is very important to the breathing process. We can get very tense here, tight.
Okay, now your right arm is straight. Reach your left arm out so that the left palm's stacking on top of your right palm. So both elbows are straight and the arms are out in front of you. You can see your hands. Just begin to slide your top hand, your left hand, forward in the direction the fingers are pointing. So you're going to slide it along your floor. And as you do that, let your chest and your head roll so that the face turns down and the chest turns towards the floor. And then slide your left hand back to your right hand and begin to slide your left hand up the right arm, letting your head and your chest roll towards the ceiling. So you're turning into a little bit of a twist. Keep your legs heavy though. Go back and forth like that, reaching your left arm, reaching the left fingertips beyond the right fingertips onto your floor, turning your chest down to face the floor, and then sliding your left hand up the right arm, rolling the head and the chest to face your ceiling. Moving back and forth like that, feeling the blanket underneath the right side ribs, giving a little bit of pressure into these different areas, perhaps giving you some feedback about the shape of your ribs, as well as the tone in the tissues here. Allowing your head to roll, your jaw to be soft. Good. And now next time that you are on your side, bend your elbows and interlace your fingers behind the head, staying on your side. See if you can keep the right elbow touching the floor. So you're supporting the back of the head, this basket of interlaced fingers. On your next breath in, begin to open your left elbow to the left, turning your head and your chest towards the ceiling, moving into a twist. Let the weight of the head drop back into your hands. Some of you may be able to have the hands be supported by the floor and then the head supported by the hands. If you can keep the weight of your left leg heavy, maybe the left knee has to lift a little off of the right leg, but imagine a sense of dropping the weight of the left leg towards the floor as you turn the chest, opening the left elbow, reaching the left elbow to the left side of your room. And now, sensing as you inhale, what if you try to push the area of the blanket that you're touching away? Try to expand from the inside. Or does it make more sense here for you to expand the left side of the chest? Expand some space into your left armpit or where you're starting to feel the stretch. Good. We'll do just a little bit of vinyasa or breath with movement here. As you exhale, roll back onto your right side. Bring your elbows towards one another. Kind of squeeze the elbows and the forearms towards the head as the elbows come together. As you inhale, twisting again, turning the head and the chest towards the ceiling, opening the left elbow. As you exhale, roll back to your right side. Elbows come towards one another. Inhaling, expanding both sides of the chest, rotating to the left. Last time, exhaling, bringing the elbows together. And this time, as you inhale and lift the left elbow, open the left elbow, invite yourself back onto your back. Bring your feet to the center of the mat, knees point up, and feel that blanket across the upper back. Let the elbows be wide here, head dropping back into your hands, and take a moment in this supported back bend with the blanket underneath the chest and feel the distinctions between the two sides. Two sides of your waist, two shoulders. And then when you're ready, roll to your left side. We'll start this process on the left side. So start with your left arm just straight out in front of you. Your knees are bent. Make sure your knees are up at about hip height. And let your head just drop. If that's too much, slide a little pillow underneath your head. Your top arm can be anywhere that's comfortable. Just feel the weight of your torso settle. Notice the 2 or 3 ribs that are touching the blanket. See if you can get an image or a sense of the shape of those ribs. And as you breathe in, can you expand the left side of the chest as if to push the blanket away? So take that volume, that billowing amount of air, and you push it into the blanket. And as you exhale, just let the skeleton yield, let the tissue soften so that you drape over the blanket. Practicing sensing how you can create this movement from the inside. Okay, now taking the right arm forward, so both arms are straight out from you. The left palm is facing up, your right palm is stacked on top of that, keeping the elbows straight. Start to slide your right arm forward in the direction the fingers are pointing, letting your head and your chest turn towards the floor. And then reversing, your right hand is going to slide up your left arm, turning your head and your chest towards the ceiling so that the more of the back ribs on the left side are feeling the contact with the blanket. You go back and forth like that. Your right arm is initiating this. It's sliding forward. It's going to turn your chest and your head towards the floor. And then the right hand slides up the left arm, turning your head and chest towards the ceiling. Seeing if you can keep your right knee, top leg, somewhat heavy. Soften the jaw. Good. And the next time you come to your side, bend your elbows, interlace fingers behind the head. Keep your left elbow on the floor. Begin to turn your chest towards the ceiling. Let the face turn towards the ceiling, opening that right elbow. And pause here. If it's possible, let the head drop back into the hands. The back of the hands may be able to find the floor. Your right leg stays heavy. Breathe into the sensation of this twist. Inhaling, can you push the blanket away once? And as we exhale and empty the body of air, that's where you'll feel the twist has the potential to deepen. And then inhale once and try to expand the right side of your chest into your right armpit, right side ribs. And we'll begin to move one breath per movement with this. So as you're ready to exhale, roll back onto your left side, bring your elbows together. Maybe they can even touch, so your forearms might squeeze towards the head a little bit. And as you inhale, opening into your twist, turning the head and the chest, the face and the chest towards the ceiling. Exhale, rolling to your left side, drawing the elbows towards one another. Inhale, turning chest and face towards the ceiling. Exhale, rolling to your left side. Inhaling, invite yourself all the way back onto your back, the back of the pelvis and the feet to come to the mat. Knees are pointed up. Hands are still interlaced behind the head. Elbows are wide. Take another breath here in this supported back bend. And feel right where the where the blanket is crossing your spine. It's behind your sternum, upper thoracic vertebrae, that part of your spine. It's gently pushing the sternum forward. Okay, so slowly come off of this. You might want to roll to your side for ease and come up to your hands and your knees. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Now, imagining your sitting bones or coming to sense your sitting bones. If you could imagine that your sitting bones are eyes, like the eyes that we have that can see. And as you breathe in and take a cow spine, arching the back, look upward with the sitting bone eyes so that your pelvis really tilts. And as you exhale, round your back, drop your head and curl your sitting bone eyes down or look down with the sitting bones. So just using that image of eyes on the sitting bones as you move through cat and cow spine, inhaling, sitting bone eyes look up. Exhaling, sitting bone eyes look downward, rounding the back. So that you initiate your cat and cow spine from this sensation of the pelvis tilting. Great. And now imagine that you have eyes at each of your collarbones. Similar thing, the eyes that can see. And as you inhale, look upward with collarbone eyes. And as you exhale, look downward, rounding the back with the collarbone eyes. So inhale, collarbone eyes look up, so you have more attention to this front space. Your actual eyes might look up as well. And then exhaling, rounding the back, cat spine, your collarbone eyes look down. Just see if the cat and cow spine feels any different when you have that slight difference in attention. Great. Slowly bring your pelvis back to your heels as if for child's pose. But walk your hands forward. So your hands are planted about shoulder distance. Keep your head lifted. Look at the hands. Grab the mat with your hands. Pull the mat towards you, isometrically pulling the mat towards you with your hands so that you take your sternum forward. So the collarbone eyes are looking forward, very open. Now begin to bring your left hand to your right hand. And walk your right hand out to the right, about a foot or so. Walk your left hand again to your right hand and walk your right hand out to the right, a foot or so. So your hands are about shoulder distance. Your pelvis is still back at your heels. Now slide your right hand back towards your right leg, kind of near your right knee. So your right palm is planted, your right elbow is bent in a push-up position. Push your right hand into the floor and pick up your chest and your belly from your thighs a little bit. Turn your belly to the right. Feel your belly churning to the right, using your right arm to help with that. Now creep your left hand, your left arm forward. Walk the left fingertips forward, but stay up on the fingertips. So your left forearm is lifting away from the floor. Your left sitting bone keeps extending back, pulling back, grounding that left hip towards the left heel. Now taking some deeper breaths into the whole left side of the body, the side seam, the outer bank of the left armpit. Feeling that sensation of stretch all along the arm, side arm into the side body to your left hip crease. Okay, now look forward or toward your left hand. Slide your right hand forward so it's near your left hand, and then walk both hands back to your mat. So you're back towards that child's pose like position. Plant both hands firmly. Look forward. Look beyond your hands so your head is lifted. Plant the hands and isometrically pull the hands towards you. Feel your shoulder blades firming down the back as if you could shoot the sternum forward. Now, with this energy of the spine coming forward, right hand's going to step to the left hand, left hand walks out about a foot, and then again, right hand to the left hand walks out. So we're in this child's pose with the arms out at a left diagonal. Okay, slide your left hand back so that your left palm is down near your left knee and your left elbows bent, left arms in kind of a push-up position. You're going to use that power of your left hand, push into the floor with the left hand to steer the belly to the left. Maybe picking up your chest and your belly a little bit off of your legs, turning the belly to the left. As you then creep your right arm forward, walk the right hand forward, come up to your fingertips of the right hand. Feel a lifting of the outer bank of the right armpit. Try to lift that away from the floor, grounding the right sitting bone towards the heel. And take some deeper inhale breaths into the right side seam of the torso. Still having this sense that the belly is turning. And notice as you try to turn the belly to the left, does your head turn to the left? Our neck has so much rotation. Can you actually look down, keep your nose pointed towards the floor as you try to turn your belly to the left? Okay, slide your left arm straight again. So your left hand's near your right hand. Walk both hands back to your mat. Come up to your hands and your knees. Turn the toes under and exhale back to downward facing dog. And take a moment in this first down dog to just shift the positioning of your feet and your hands until you feel their appropriate distance. Feet are usually around sitting bones distance, parallel. Bend your knees just a little bit and lift the eyes of the sitting bones up. Look upward with the sitting bone eyes. Push down with the hands, first finger and thumb mound root firmly. Think about pushing your mat forward with your hands as your sitting bone eyes crest upward. Breathing in, sensing both sides of your chest and the side ribs expanding. Changing the volume, the shape in the chest as you inhale in down dog. And as you exhale, see if you can tone the lower belly a little bit. As if the lower belly is lifting like a dome, doming upward, helping to pick the pelvis off of the thighs, lift the pelvis off the lower back. Good. Let's inhale forward to plank pose. Feel your tailbone reaching back to your heels, crown of the head forward, sides of the neck long. Breathe in. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Again, inhale forward to plank pose. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Look forward towards your hands. Walk up to the top of the mat. Jumpers can jump, bringing the feet all the way together. Take a breath in, lengthen to flat back. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, come all the way up to stand. Palms together, peek up to see the thumbs. And as you exhale, bring the hands down through center. Okay, releasing the arms down. Let's grab our strap. So if you are able to make a loop in your strap, you're going to make a loop that's a tight loop that is about the width of your shoulders. So take a moment to get that prepared. This strap is going to go behind the back. So just standing in a Tadasana at the top of the mat. Take the strap behind the back so that it is around your forearms, near your wrists.
If you don't have a loopable strap, hold the strap behind the back, hands about shoulder distance or a little bit more narrow, and keep the strap taut this whole time.
Begin to press out into the strap so the strap stays very taut. The palms are facing one another. You can have a micro bend in your knees so you're not locking here. Tailbone's grounding. Now think about the eyes of your collarbones. The collarbone eyes are bright, wide, and open, looking upward. Inhale and begin to expand those two sides of the chest, sort of billowing out into the side ribs. Keep pushing the arms out into the strap. Begin to move the arms back away from the body. And that may be just an inch, that may be many inches, depending on your range of motion. So you're exposing that skin, that armpit skin, where some ribs wrap around. I call the armpit ribs. Begin to keep working on this sensation from the inside out, expanding the two sides of the chest. Keep the chin parallel to the floor. Maybe the sternum rises a little bit, lifts towards the chin, and the collarbone eyes look upward. Great. Now, can you keep the arms reaching back like that? And notice the relationship of your upper arm bones and your torso. Keep that relationship, but just bend your elbows as if you're going to bring your hands into your pockets, like you have pockets on your pants. So your fingertips might touch the sides of the pelvis, but your elbows are bent and the elbows are like two little fins pointing back. So you're trying to draw your elbows together as your lower forearm wrist area pushes out into the strap. Sense your shoulder blades firming towards the spine. Chest is still very broad, collarbone eyes are lifted. Good, and now straighten the arms again. Reaching the arms back, take one more breath in. If it feels okay, you can start to let your head drop back, open the front of the neck and the throat. And then exhale, just release your arms down. Let your strap stay there. So you're going to keep your arms kind of behind the body. We're going to step the right foot back about 3.5 feet. Have your feet hips width apart. Turn your right toes out so your right heel grounds down. The hips will stay square towards the short edge or the front of your mat. So right toes are out about 45 degrees. Feel the pinky toe edge of that right foot ground down. Inner right arch lifting all the way up to the inseam. Pubic bone. Okay, tailbone dropping. Now push out into the strap again so the arms are straight and become active. Start to lift the arms away from the body. Feel this sense of lifting in the chest. And now press a little bit deeper into the floor with your left big toe mound and begin to move your pelvis back, tipping forward over the left leg. We're going to keep a flat back or a long spine here, so length from tail all the way out to the top of the head. The farthest you will come forward is parallel to the floor, torso being parallel to the floor. You may not even get that far. It will be a hamstring experience. You're pressing that left big toe mound down so firmly that it's going to help pull the left hip crease, that outer bank of the left hip back, trying to square the pelvis towards the front of the mat. The collarbone eyes are looking forward, arms actively pushing out into the strap so the strap's taut. If you don't have that loopable strap, you can just hold a strap with your hands behind your back. Keep extending the chest forward. Maybe the arms can lift a little bit higher towards the ceiling. If the hamstring is really acting up, you can still do this with a slight bend in your left knee. And imagine that somebody has your pelvis, a nice friend has your pelvis, and they begin to pull the pelvis back. And from that, you reach the spine forward. And then press the left foot firmly into the floor, come all the way up to stand. Bend your left knee, pick up your right heel, step your right foot forward. And the second side, left foot's going to step back about 3.5, 4 feet, depending on how long the legs are. Turn the left toes out, ground your left heel down. Make sure your 2 feet are about hips width apart so you can balance here. Arms are behind the back with that strap around the arms, or you're holding the strap with both hands behind the back. Gaze forward, chin parallel to the floor. Begin to push out into the strap. Lift the arms a little away from the body. Breathe in, expand both sides of the chest. Begin to tip forward so the hips move back as the spine extends forward, keeping length from tail all the way out through the crown of the head. Engage the right foot into the floor. Feel the right big toe mound, the right little toe mound all across the ball of the right foot, pushing into the floor. And that push down allows for a movement of the right hip crease back, as if somebody is gently pulling your pelvis back. Your spine can extend forward from that. Good. Staying active with the arms. Gravity's not so much on our side with the shoulders here, so we have to lift the collarbone eyes. Look forward with the collarbone eyes. Draw the shoulder blades towards the spine. And then pressing that right foot down to slowly come upright with the torso. Bend the right knee, step the left foot forward. Release that strap from behind you. Set the strap down for a moment. Just let the arms hang. Close the eyes. Just have a sense of the weight of the arms draping down from the neck. The head floating upward. On your next breath in, float the arms out to the side. Reaching the arms all the way overhead, palms together. Inhale, seeing the thumbs. Exhale, widen the arms, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen to flat back. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Breathe in. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga or to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, slowly reach back, downward facing dog. Pressing first finger and thumb mound down. Sitting bone eyes look up. Feel the whole side seam of the body beginning to elongate, open, feeling spacious. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat and inhale the left leg up and back. As you exhale, step the left foot forward between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Bring the hands up to rest on your left thigh. Torso upright. Push the left heel into the floor firmly. And think about dragging your left heel isometrically towards your right knee. That's going to turn on your left hamstring a little bit. Root the tail down and take a breath in. Just reach your right arm up, just the right arm, feeling as if you could pull the right arm from the lower belly. If you can go deeper in this pose, that would mean taking your pelvis farther forward, bending your left knee a little bit more. If you do that, still, can you isometrically pull the left heel towards your right knee? Sitting bones are heavy. The collarbone eyes are looking up, and you can let your head drop back, see the ceiling, start to look towards the space behind you, really reaching through the right arm. Good. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Bring the feet all the way together. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step right foot between the hands. Lower the back knee down for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Bring the hands to rest on the right thigh for a moment. Feel the sole of the right foot push down. Right heel isometrically drags towards your left knee. That might turn on your right hamstring and might help you turn on the pelvic floor a little bit. So as you exhale, there's a sensation of lifting, drawing the lower belly in and up. From here, inhale your left arm high, palm faces the midline. To move a little bit deeper, the pelvis can come forward, the right knee can bend. Moving the sternum forward, lift the collarbone eyes, open the collarbone eyes and let them look up. Let the head begin to drop back. And feeling this inhale, expand the chest. Exhale, bring your left hand down, plant both hands alongside the right foot, step the right foot back, down dog. And taking a breath in, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga or to the floor. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together again. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left foot steps forward. This time, keep your back knee lifted. Just come up to fingertips. Deep bend through the front knee. Right leg is straight. The right thigh bone lifts for the ceiling. Okay, now, locate your strap. Grab your strap with the hands. Come upright with the torso. So you have this loop in the strap. You're in a lunge, so first make sure you can have your balance here. If you have that loopable strap, you're going to make the loop bigger. If you don't have a loopable strap, it's okay. You can just use the normal strap. You're going to turn back behind you. Look behind you. This is a balance moment. See if you can take one end of the loop and loop it around the heel, underneath the heel. Then both hands are going to be behind you, grabbing one end of the loop. Each hand has a part of the loop. Bend that front knee. Make sure the knee's tracking with the toes. You're holding on the loop. The loop is also wrapped underneath your right heel. The right heel is lifted. Now let your right knee bend just a little bit. So this is going to be a push-pull situation. You're trying to push the heel into the strap. That strap is giving your heel some feedback. At the same time, pull with the arms. Pull the strap. Draw the elbows towards one another. It's great if you have a little bend in the elbows here. So pull the strap with the arms. Elbows draw in. Shoulder blades narrow. Maybe you can deepen the bend in the front knee. And feeling the sternum coming forward, maybe head dropping back if you have your balance. Sense the back bend in this pose. Good. Slowly release the strap. Bring your hands down. Plant the hands firmly. Step your left foot back. Let's just take a breath in. Come forward to plank for a moment. Exhale back, down dog. Feet together. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Feet hips width apart. Come upright with the torso. Grab your strap again. You have that big loop in it. Taking that loop underneath your heel. Under the heel is a little better than the arch, but it might be on that back part of the arch as well, but it's right underneath. And both hands are behind you holding the strap. Each hand has a part of the strap. Bend the right knee a little deeper. See if the right thigh can get parallel to the floor. Bend your left knee slightly, dropping your tail. Now push the left heel into the strap as you pull the strap with your hands. Draw the elbows together. Expose that side armpit skin. And inhale, expand both lungs, pressing, billowing, ballooning both sides of the chest. So let the back bend be supported by this expansion in the lungs, the volume of your inhale in your chest. Good. Exhale, release slowly the strap, bring your hands down, step back to down dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. You're going to find your strap. Bring the strap behind the back. Hold the strap behind the back with the palms facing yourself. The closer your hands are together, the more challenging it will be for the shoulders. Farther your hands are apart, the more space you're giving your shoulders. If you have tight, like a lot of muscular, if you have really muscular shoulders, you might want to have your hands a little farther apart. Tip of the nose is touching the floor. Bend your elbows slightly. Draw your elbows towards one another. Take a breath in. Begin to pull the strap apart. So your hands stay where they're at, but they pull the strap taut. Keep doing that as you exhale. And on your next breath in, begin to think of collarbone eyes opening, looking forward and then up, lifting your head and your chest. Keep pulling the strap apart. The elbows can begin to lengthen. As you exhale, you can let the lungs deflate, but can you still keep some of that shape, that open shape in your chest? An echo of what the inhale does to expand your chest. Can you feel the echo of the inhale even as you exhale? Good. And gently release the strap. Bring your hands underneath the shoulders, push up to hands and knees, and sit back onto your heels. If it's hard for you to sit on your heels, you could put a block between your feet, so you have a little lift to put your pelvis on, or you could just transition to cross-legged if you need to, if you're taking care of your knees. Take a moment to sense the spine upright. As you exhale, simple twist to the right. Left hand's going to find the right leg or knee, and your right hand can come behind you, fingertips to floor, or some of you that may be a little bit more open, you can find the corner of the block if you're sitting on the block, or your right hand can cup the left heel, kind of like a grip that you would do if you're climbing. So you can cup around the left heel and using the right arm to help spin the chest to the right. Right armpit space moves back, and the right collarbone looks upward. Sense a back bend in your upper back as you're twisting. Good. Exhale, slowly unwind, rotate the other way. Right hand finds left knee and left fingertips come back to floor, to the corner of the block, or to cup the right heel. Left armpit is exposed. You're taking that left armpit skin back, breathing and expanding towards it. Lift the left collarbone. Exhale, slowly untwist. We're going to come back up to our knees to stand on our knees to prep for camel. So make sure that your knees are supported with enough padding underneath them. And if you have your rolled up blanket, or you may have a yoga bolster, you can put it right on your calves. So the tops of the feet are on the floor, knees are bent, and I'm standing on the knees, torso's tall, in this blanket roll or prop, which could be a yoga bolster, is resting on the back of the calves. Now find your strap again. If you have a loop in the strap, just make that loop really small so you have just a nice long strap. Hold the strap wider. Hands are wider than the shoulders. Bring your arms all the way overhead with the arms straight. Pull the strap taut. Take a breath into the side body. Slowly begin to bend your elbows so the arms come into a cactus shape, or a shape that resembles goalposts. Elbows bent 90 degrees. Can you have the strap behind the head? Keep pulling that strap really taut. Make sure the strap doesn't push the head forward. Maybe you can even move your arms a little farther behind you. Feel the bottom tips of the shoulder blades firm down the back. We're going to vinyasa, one breath per movement with this. Inhale, straighten the arms. Keep the strap taut. Look up, breathe in. As you exhale, bend the elbows, bring the strap behind you. Inhale, see if you can bend the elbows even more. Lower the strap another inch or so. Take the chest forward. Let the eyes look up. Let your head drop back a little bit. Little back bend here. Good. Exhale, come back to the cactus shape. Pretty slow motion. Inhale, arms straighten. Strap is taut. Exhale, begin to bend the elbows into that cactus shape. Strap is behind the head. And continue to bend the elbows on your next inhalation, moving into more of a back bend, as if you could touch the elbows behind your back. Your chest comes forward as the head drops back. Good. And then coming out of the back bend, just begin to lengthen the arms behind you and release the strap. Turn over your right shoulder, look towards your right heel. Maybe you can just tap it, touch it with your right fingertips. And then come back up and turn over your left shoulder, look behind you, see your left heel, see if you can tap it with your left fingertips. And then also, you could do the same thing back and forth with that prop that's on your calves. If you have 2 blocks, you could also put the 2 blocks alongside your feet. We're just trying to bring the feet towards us a little bit. Okay, then come back upright, standing on the knees still. Reach your arms behind you so the palms face one another. Imagine you're holding a basketball behind you. So you have to really firm your arms inward, press in to palm that basketball with both hands. Inhale, begin to lift your chest or to drop the head back. Fingertips are reaching for that bolster that's on your calves. Maybe they just gently touch it. Once they do, can you push into the bolster with the fingertips and lift the chest, opening the chest, feeling that inhale breath support this shape. You're welcome to keep your chin slightly tucked so that the neck does not have to support that heavy weight of the head. If it feels okay for you, the chest is lifted enough, that upper back is in the back bend deep enough, it's going to support the dropping of the head back. So you can play with what that feels like to let your head drop back slightly. And as you exhale, you can bring your hands towards your legs, slowly come out of the back bend, staying on your knees, but walk your hands forward so you're on your hands and your knees. Take a breath in, neutral spine. Exhale, slowly round into cat spine. Sitting bone, eyes look down, head drops. Good. Inhale to neutral. Okay, we're going to do a couple more variations. So take your strap again behind your back, holding the strap so your palms face your body. Bend your elbows a little bit. Pull the strap apart. Draw the elbows in. Begin to let the chest come forward. And maybe your knuckles, you're kind of making fists. Maybe the knuckles can start to approach that prop that's on your calves. Maybe not though. Just seeing where you're at here. Your pelvis is coming forward slightly. The tailbone is dropping. Great. Exhale. Slowly let that release. Come forward to your hands and your knees again. Take your pelvis back so you squish that blanket a little bit that's on your calves. Walk your hands forward so you're in a part child's pose, part puppy pose, or dog in prayer. Just actively walk your hands forward. Feel the reach through your side body. A couple of deep breaths into your lower back to help neutralize the spine. Good. We'll take one more. So walk your hands back. Come back to stand on your knees. Reach the arms behind you again. Palms face one another as if you're holding that basketball behind the back. So if you need to, you could tuck the toes under. That brings the heels closer to you if you want to find the heels. It does break the chain of the front fascial line opening when we do that. So you can just choose what feels more appropriate for you. Begin to take your chest forward, expanding the side ribs, expanding both sides of the lungs. Fingertips might find that bolster, or they may find your heels. Whatever they find, push into. If they don't find anything, you have that challenge to keep lifting the chest forward. Opening the heart space. And very slowly release out of it. Okay, you're going to sit down, kneel, and you can keep your rolled up blanket between your calves and your thighs. So make that comfortable for you. If that's not so great, you can use a block underneath your seat. Spine is vertical. Inhale the arms out to the side. Eagle arms. Cross your right arm on top of your left arm. If you're tight here, you're just going to do a self-hug. Wrap your hands around to find your shoulder blades. Otherwise, taking full eagle pose, backs of the hands or palms together. Pressing the elbows inward. And then moving your elbows away from your sternum, letting your shoulder blades widen. Taking a breath in, seeing if you can expand into the back space, the back lungs expanding towards your back ribs. You can begin to round your back slightly here, dropping your head, curling your elbows towards your navel. Inhale, gently uncross the arms, reach the arms out to the side. Left arm on top of the right. Eagle arms on the second side, wrapping palms to touch or back of hands to touch. Now begin to reach your elbows forward. And that's going to widen the shoulder blades. Feel like the sternum can be pulled back into the body, sort of sinking. The sternum is sinking towards your back space. And then begin to drop your elbows towards your navel, drop your head around your whole back. Good. And gently uncross the arms. Let's come off of our knees. We're going to swing the legs around so the legs are straight out in front. And in the seated position, Dandasana, it's great to have a little something underneath the pelvis. So if you want to take your blanket and just fold it up, or you could put a block underneath your pelvis so that your hips are lifted a little bit, at least a couple inches off the floor. And the legs are straight out in front of you. Feeling length through the spine. Bend your right knee, stand the right foot. Have your right foot about a fist's distance between your right foot and your left knee. Inhale the left arm high. Feel length through the left side body. Exhale, begin to twist to the right, wrapping your left arm around the right leg. That elbow pit can wrap around the knee. Right fingertips come back behind you to the floor. Now firmly press the right foot down. Root your left leg into the floor. Left calf and left thigh bone press the floor down. As you spin the belly to the right, take your right armpit skin back. The right collarbone looks up. Soften your jaw, soften the upper palate. Feel the tongue relax. Good. Exhale, unwind, straighten the right leg. Bending left leg, stand left foot. Inhale the right arm high. And feel that right thigh bone, right calf press into the floor. And begin to twist to the left, wrapping the right arm, right elbow can hook around the left knee. Left fingertips come behind you. Bringing your fingertips to the floor to push a little bit. Maybe they can even press into the blanket. Just making sure you're not leaning back here. Another common thing is that the lower back will start to round. So if you can think back bend through your upper back, the left collarbone looks up, finding length from tail all the way up to the top of the head. Good. Exhale, untwist. And come to Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. You can hold your ankles and draw your heels closer to your pubic bone. Pressing the balls of the feet together, letting the toes spread. And just tipping forward. The pelvis first will roll over the legs and then walking the hands slowly forward, letting your head drop. Taking a few slow breaths here. Letting the breath expand into your back space. Slowing your exhale down. Take a breath in, let your abdomen expand. And then when you're ready, slowly roll yourself up. Take your legs long. Come off of your prop that's underneath your pelvis and slowly lower yourself all the way down to your back. Take your arms out to the side. Have your knees bent with feet standing. And just let your knees windshield wipe or tip side to side. Dropping the two knees over to the right, then back to center and to the left. It's a nice, easy, twisting action. And feeling the sense of movement up in your chest, how that movement translates to the chest, letting your neck and your jaw be soft. And then when you're ready, let your legs lengthen long. Preparing yourself for Shavasana. If you have something that you can cover your eyes with, an eye pillow or it's a piece of cloth to create a darker space for yourself. You can take your blanket and place it over your pelvis or on your belly to give yourself a sense of grounding. Let the arms be a comfortable distance away from the body with the palms facing up. And begin to feel this sense of how your body meets the floor now. Paying attention how the back of the floor, how the back of you meets the floor. Noticing how you inhabit your chest. Letting the breath come back to a more natural, easy way of breathing. After all of the movement, begin to distill your awareness, sinking into the sensation of your bones. Soften your belly. Let the belly widen. Like the whole abdominal area is a water balloon, widening and spreading. The breath often actually becomes very small or shallow in Shavasana, almost as if the energy is returning to its source. Noticing how you're inhabiting your chest. How you inhabit your palms. Noticing a pulsation in the body, feeling the whole body as a field of sensation. Receptive, allowing the movement of energy and aliveness that's there, that you feel in your body. And you might sense if there's anything that wants your attention in the domain of your heart, anything that wants your attention in this area of the chest. Is there a mood or an emotion? Perhaps it simply wants your acceptance, another kind of attention. So letting your senses be wide awake and open. Noticing the sense of your own being. Notice how you inhabit these internal spaces. The interoception. Begin to take a few deeper breaths. You can just feel the sensation of the face soft, tongue relaxed. Allow your head to roll easy side to side, just letting your eyes lazily roll downhill as your head rolls. And finding some gentle movement in your fingers and in your toes. Beginning to move the limbs. Eventually making yourself to your side. And rolling to your side, and then press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Just finding a sense of stillness in your seat, letting your eyes close. And bring the palms together. And may you be free of inner and outer harm. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong. And may you care for yourself joyfully. And take a breath in. Exhale. Namaste.
Are you enjoying this podcast? I've chosen to offer these audio recordings freely for over 15 years. I do this because research shows yoga, yoga nidra, and Feldenkrais to be valuable practices, those which I would like to share widely. Dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, has always been a pillar of my business. And more generally, Dana is the inclination to give without expecting any form of repayment. It does, however, take a fair amount of time, effort, and cost to maintain and keep the podcasts available. If you feel you've benefited from what you've learned from these classes, then please do consider making a contribution towards the maintenance and upkeep of the classes. It will help ensure that I can continue to offer the podcast classes freely and keep generating new material. Give what you can, give what feels good. If it's too little, it won't feel good. If it's too much, it won't feel good. Links to support the show monetarily can be found in the show notes. And other ways to give include sharing the podcast with others, leaving a 5-star rating and review, or just sending me an email with how the classes have affected you. Thanks so much.